Hi. So I got this so I got this really interesting video called uh this how I build 20k a month Chrome extension. So I wanted to watch it with you guys. So देखते हैं अभी कैसा होता है like क्योंकि like मेरे को उतना आइडिया है नहीं बट मुझे पता है कि like Chrome extensions बनाना उतना टफ नहीं है राइट एंड लेट्स सी कि वीडियो में क्या बताता है ये बंदा ठीक है
extension and launched my first extension within like 2 or 3 days. And today it's at about like $20 to $30,000 MRR.
How does one guy make over $20,000 a month with a simple browser extension? Well, it's because he's building in the hottest niche in business right now, AI. Saeed Izzati started his
तो लाइक ये लाइक ऐसा लाइक प्रिटी लाइक वेल नोन फैक्ट है राइट ट्रेंड चेकिंग उसमें हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि लाइक कोई भी एक ट्रेंड पकड़ते हैं जो लाइक पॉपुलर हो रहा है और उसके लिए कुछ बनाते हैं सो लाइक इट गेट्स प्रिटी पॉपुलर राइट सेम लाइक वीडियोस राइट अगर लाइक अभी करंटली मिस्टर बीस्ट की कंट्रोवर्सी चल रही है अगर मैं मिस्टर बीस्ट पे वीडियो बनाऊँ तो मुझे लाइक ईजीली व्यूज़ मिलेंगे राइट बट उसका ऐसा एक्सपायरी डेट रहता है राइट जब तक वो ट्रेंड है तब तक तुम लोगों की चीज़ चलेगी और एक बार वो ट्रेंड ख़त्म हो गया फिर वो चीज़ चलना बंद हो जाएगी बट लाइक अगर तुम लोग कुछ तो सॉरी 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 फॉर द डॉग्स लेकिन तुम लोग सोचो राइट अगर तुम लोग कोई प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस बनाते हो जो लाइक वो ट्रेंड के समय चल रही है राइट और वो तुम लोगों को लाइक 50k 100k 200k का कैपिटल जमा करके देती है तो फिर वो तुम लोगों का इनिशियल कैपिटल हो जाता है फर्दर इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए सो लाइक अगर तुम लोग ऐसा कुछ छोटा सा बना सकते हो जो लाइक ईजीली तुम लोगों को लाइक पैसे जमा करके दे सके तो गो फॉर इट लाइक देयर इज नो सच थिंग एज लाइक स्मॉल शिट राइट यू कुड लाइक मेक समथिंग एंड लाइक अगर वो चला नहीं लॉन्ग टर्म में भी तो फिर भी वो शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए तुम लोगों को जो प्रॉफिट होगा तुम लोगों को जो मार्जिन्स आएंगे इज वेल वर्थ इट इन द लॉन्ग रन
journey as an employee, working for almost a decade in corporate America in different
fucking
startups.
shit
But now he's a solopreneur, making a pretty good living while working on a side project he's passionate about. So I spent over an hour talking to him and getting the complete scoop on his $20,000 a month AI business. Turns out it's actually pretty simple and it's not as saturated as you might think.
yeah that's the thing right uh, most of the ideas that go wild are like pretty simple like you don't have to reinvent the wheel you just have to make it a little bit more faster than whatever is there right तुम लोग like do something but do it good वाली मेंटेलिटी होनी चाहिए वरना तुम लोगों का लाइक यूजुअली कहीं पे जा बिफोर एवरीवन कैन डू इट राइट तुम लोगों को कोई आइडिया है तो उसको एग्जीक्यूट कर दो भले ही वो लाइक परफेक्ट ना हो लेकिन अगर तुम लोगों के पास कुछ तो है अगर तुम लोग मार्केट में पहले हो then you will earn like a lot of money for that part of the thing right yeah okay
There's still plenty of opportunity, you just need to know where to look. In this video, Saeed shares a masterclass on building in AI, where to find good ideas, where to build those ideas, and some unique ways to monetize those ideas, even if you're a beginner. All right, let's get into it. I'm Pat Walls, and this is Starter Story.
Welcome, Saeed. It's great to have you. Tell me about who you are and this business that you built.
My name is Saeed. I'm a software engineer. ChatGPT extension that I built is called Superpower ChatGPT. It's a browser extension basically that adds a bunch of extra feature to ChatGPT. I started this about a year and a half ago, and today it's at about like $20 to $30,000 MRR. I'm the only person who's been working on the extension. It has been downloaded close to like I think 270,000 times. Weekly active users for the extension is around like.
तो like अगर 270,000 यूजर्स अगर उसको 20 to 30,000 जमा करके दे रहे. So what is each member paying? कैसे कहते हैं? Let's see. Calculator. And 240,000 divided by 30k. 8. So like per customer value उसकी currently around 8 है. तो like of course like सब active users paying customers नहीं होते, तो like around average उसका हर customer उसको like $20-30 पे करता है उसको $30,000 तक पहुंचने के लिए, which is like pretty good, right? उसके हर पेइंग कस्टमर की वैल्यू अराउंड $20-30 है. और क्योंकि ये सब्सक्रिप्शन बेस्ड सर्विस है, ऐसा ज़्यादा कमाते हैं लोग, राइट? बिकॉज लाइक it's a recurring revenue, right? Once you have got the person inside, it's pretty easy to like make them pay again and again and again.
Like 150,000.
Okay, so you built a Chrome extension to over $20,000 a month. What do you think is the best strategy for someone to do something similar?
2 ways I'm thinking about this. Either building for an existing really big platform like Gmail, for example, or like Roblox, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. They already have all these users. All you need to do is to just build the extension and those users will find you. Twitter had like hundreds of millions of users, and if only like 2,000
best advice, right? let जो कुछ भी है लाइक ऐसे कोई प्लेटफॉर्म को यूज़ करो जिसके पास ऑलरेडी यूजर्स है. खुद के नए यूजर्स बनाने की ट्राई मत करो, यू विल फेल, बिकॉज लाइक इट इज़ हार्ड. लाइक बिलीव इट or not, it is fucking hard to like get new like brain power into this, right? Get new person inside the gate. लेकिन अगर कोई ऑलरेडी लाइक लेट्स से फेसबुक यूज़ कर रहा है, जीमेल यूज़ कर रहा है, चैट जीपीटी यूज़ कर रहा है, तो दे आर ऑलरेडी इनसाइड द फकिंग गेट, राइट? तो तुम लोग जस्ट उन लोगों को कन्वर्ट करना है. तुम लोगों के पास ऑलरेडी यूजर्स है और लाइक तुम लोगों के पास ऑलरेडी लोग हैं जो तुम लोग ये सर्विस यूज़ कर सकते हैं, राइट? यू आर ऑलरेडी इन अ नीश where users exist, right? So you just like make something good out of it.
people want that features. That's like a good amount of, and if only
Yes, sir.
like 2,000 people will find you. Twitter had like hundreds of millions of users, and if only like 2,000 people want that features, that's like a good amount of like revenue for you to just live
Exactly.
off of. The other thing I recommend is going after platforms that have like an existing marketplace but a smaller user base. Zoom or Salesforce, it's a lot easier to compete in a marketplace like that. They have less number of users, but at the same time they have less number of people building for those platforms. So that's another good place to build some products.
Let's talk about the opportunity of building plugins in marketplaces. What makes this better than launching a traditional SaaS that has its own website?
Most people, when they want to start a project, they're just thinking about some sort of like a standalone platform, like a website that has all of its own back end and front end and everything. But competing with like everyone on the internet is a lot harder than competing with like a limited number of players in a
Exactly.
smaller like marketplace. And it also helps a lot with validating the product. Like it's a lot easier to build like a simple extension that runs on a user browser. That way you can at least know if the idea is going to work out.
So this तो like thought elaboration कि exactly ये क्या बात कर रहा है, right? अगर तुम लोगों को नहीं मालूम और तुम लोग like सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग में नहीं हो, right? So अगर तुम लोग ऐसा कुछ खुद से सर्विस स्टार्ट करते हो, SaaS सॉफ्टवेयर, SaaS which stands for software as a service, तो अगर तुम लोग ऐसे खुद की सर्विस चालू करते हो तो तुम लोगों को बैक एंड की ज़रूरत पड़ती है जो लाइक सब तुम लोग रिक्वेस्ट प्रोसेस करता है. तुम लोग फ्रंट एंड की ज़रूरत पड़ती है जो लाइक बेसिकली UI रहता है, राइट? लेकिन अगर तुम लोग ऐसा कोई क्रोम एक्सटेंशन वगैरह बनाते हो तो तुम लोगों को बैक एंड फ्रंट एंड की ज़रूरत नहीं रहती, तुम लोग ब्राउज़र पे इंजेक्शंस यूज़ करते हो, जावास्क्रिप्ट इंजेक्शंस और समथिंग टू ऐड न्यू फीचर्स टू एन एग्जिस्टिंग फ्रंट एंड। सो ये सब लाइक यूज़र के पीसी पे होता है, उसके ब्राउज़र पे, और तुम लोगों को लाइक एडिशनल सर्वर कॉस्ट नहीं रहती, और सर्वर कॉस्ट आर फकिंग एक्सपेंसिव। इट कैन गो फ्रॉम लाइक 1 लाख, 10 लाख, 10 करोड़, 20 करोड़, एनी लाइक absurd अमाउंट्स, राइट? अगर तुम लोगों को लाइक नहीं भरने हैं $1 million इन सर्वर कॉस्ट, तो डोंट यूज।
out or not, and if it's worth like spending more time on it.
Got it. So building for an existing marketplace is a lot faster, it's less crowded, and it's a lot easier to validate your idea. Can you tell us how to actually come up with an idea for a marketplace platform?
When ChatGPT was launched, I already had some ideas what features missing. And initially, when I was building these features, I was mainly building the extension for myself. And later, I tried to go find the places that my users will hang out. Subreddits are one of them. Discord channels are other one. Slack groups is another one. Facebook group is another one. I just like joined all these groups and I started listening to people and trying to figure out what features other people want to see in ChatGPT. I think this is probably one of the best way to like come up with idea. Just go where your potential customer.
एग्जैक्टली राइट। तुम लोगों को लाइक ऐसा कुछ कस्टमर्स को देना है जो उसको वैल्यू प्रोवाइड करे। अगर तुम लोग कुछ ऐसा बुलशिट बनाओगे जो किसी को यूज़ नहीं करना, सिर्फ खुद के लिए, देन यू आर फक्ड बेसिकली। तुम लोग अगर जब तक तुम लोग अपना ईगो और खुद के बारे में सोचना बंद नहीं करते, तब तक तुम लोग कुछ अच्छा बना नहीं सकते। क्योंकि द मोमेंट व्हेन यू गेट आउट ऑफ योर हेड एंड स्टार्ट रिसर्चिंग ऑन व्हाट पीपल वांट rather than what you want, then the journey starts, right? Basically, और फिर जब तुम लोग वो चीज़ बनाते हो तब मार्केट करना उसको उतना ईजी हो जाता है, क्योंकि तुम लोगों को ऑलरेडी मालूम है कि ये फीचर किसको चाहिए था, तो तुम लोग उसको बोलते हो कि ओह शिट, मैंने ये फीचर बनाया, गेट इट, राइट? अगर तुम लोग ऐसा यंग सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर्स हो जो लाइक जस्ट चालू कर रहे हैं अपनी जर्नी, देन मेरी जैसे काइंड ऑफ, देन तुम लोग को मालूम रहना चाहिए ये सब छोटी छोटी चीज़ें, राइट? स्पेशली जो लोगों ने सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग खुद का कुछ बनाने के लिए किया है, इंस्टेड ऑफ लाइक ओ मुझे गूगल में जॉब चाहिए, ओ मेरे को अमेजोन में जॉब चाहिए। या अगर तुम लोगों को चाहिए, गो फॉर इट, DSA करो, मिल जाएगा। बट लाइक अगर तुम लोगों को खुद के लिए कुछ बड़ा करना है, कुछ ऐसी बड़ी सॉफ्टवेयर सर्विस बनानी है, देन ये सब छोटी छोटी चीज़ें तुम लोगों को ध्यान में रखनी चाहिए, ओके?
Hanging out and see what they are asking for and just try to build that. And this was actually one of my probably biggest like growth hack that I applied to this extension. Just listening to people, what they want, trying to implement the feature, and then going back and telling them that, okay, I added this feature, you can use this extension and have that feature as part of the ChatGPT interface.
Saeed is the perfect example of a crafty internet builder. He finds his
एग्जैक्टली राइट, जो मैं बात कर रहा था। अगर तुम लोग यूज़र्स का सुनोगे तो तुम लोगों को उतने जल्दी सक्सेस मिलना चालू होगा अपने प्रोजेक्ट्स में।
ideas by spending time researching in communities, researching through his own problems and frustrations, and most importantly, researching other businesses to see if he could build something better. Now, what if there was an easier way to shortcut all of this research? Well, that's why we made this Solo Developer Deep Dive. It breaks down 50 different solo developer business ideas, including their business models, their customer profiles, the platform they built.
Stuff like this is like pretty useful for businesses, right? अगर तुम लोग अपना बिजनेस चालू कर रहे हो तो भले ये ऐड हो, बट ये सब चीज़ तुम लोगों के दिमाग में कुछ जैसी घुसती है ना, तुम लोगों ऐसे नए न्यूरल नेटवर्क्स कनेक्ट होना चालू होते हैं, तुम लोग नए वर्ल्ड व्यू में दुनिया को देखते हो, इंस्टेड ऑफ लाइक सेम ओल्ड शिट, राइट?
Built on, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff you'd want to know. So, if you're actually serious about building a profitable side project like Saeed, head to the first link in the description, and I'm gonna give you the deep dive of 50 developer ideas for free, and hopefully it helps you find your own idea. Now, let's get back to Saeed. Okay, so we know where to build and what to build, but what about how to build it? What kind of experiences or coding languages do you need to learn?
If you know how to build a simple website, you'll know how to build like an extension. JavaScript, HTML, CSS. That's how I built the very first version. It was very, very simple. Only had like 2 features basically. But actually I have never built any browser extension before. I had learned how to build an extension and launched my first extension within like 2 or 3 days basically.
दिस इज है मैं जो स्टार्ट में बात कर रहा था कि लाइक जस्ट गेट स्टार्टेड और लाइक कुछ तो ऐसा प्लेट पे लेके आओ इंस्टेड ऑफ लाइक ट्राइंग टू परफेक्ट एनीथिंग. या right. So just try to get things on the plate, right? Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel. Instead of trying to build skyscrapers, build a hut so that people can come and live inside it. And then try to build a skyscraper.
After ChatGPT was.
Or like, see, the thing I was talking about. You don't need... or like, another thing is like, YouTube has become such a good way to learn stuff, right? Like अगर मैं 5 घंटे दूँ और like एक नया skill सीख लूँ, you could easily make a new thing out of like without any previous knowledge, right? तुम लोग ऐसा ground up कुछ नई skill सीख सकते हो, नई चीज़ें सीख सकते हो, right? So अगर तुम लोगों को कोई नई प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज सीखनी है या फिर पाइथन सीखना है, जावास्क्रिप्ट, HTML, CSS, हज़ारों कोर्सेस है जो तुम लोगों को ये सिखाएंगे यूट्यूब पे फॉर फ्री, राइट? इट्स जस्ट दैट तुम लोगों को सीखने की चाह चाहिए. तुम लोगों को लाइक यू नीड टू हैव द फायर टू लर्न शिट, राइट? Instead of just like sitting on your ass and not doing shit, right?
Launched. So I'm not saying like every like simple project could work. Timing is really important here. I built really early.
Okay, so you can find, build, and launch a product pretty
Trend
quickly.
checking.
But how do you actually get users or eyeballs on your product?
I have not done any ads or anything for the extension, and all of it happened organically by word of mouth or by me like posting on like different platform. Like I think the very first place that I posted it was on Reddit. I think it went like to the top of that subreddit that I posted for that day. But at the same time, like just people who like are on social media started writing reviews about like top like 10 ChatGPT extension, for example.
Just like that, right? Word of mouth is the best marketing media you'll ever get. So like try to get like good products and stuff will work out basically.
And my extensions had those features basically. So I didn't write them, I didn't pay for them to be written. I've never like actually paid anyone to write any article, and it was all organic. People started finding it, started using it, they liked the idea, they liked the features, and started sharing those ideas with their audience. And that helped a lot with growing the user base.
Wow, so you didn't spend any money on marketing. Yeah, clearly being early helped a lot, but I think what stands out is that people basically started marketing your plugin for you because you built a really great product. Are there any other early opportunities that someone watching this could take advantage of right now? And how can you build standout products in those niches?
AI is really powerful, but it's still very early, and doctors maybe are not thinking about like bringing AI into their job, but if you do, there are
Bad idea, right? Like तुम लोगों को ऐसा लग रहा होगा कि like okay, doctors in AI, but as someone who works in like AI field, this is like a very bad idea. Like the only like there is a reason कि doctors like medical field में AI use नहीं होता अभी तक, और like pretty sure like इसे long time तक नहीं होगा. क्यों मालूम है? क्योंकि एरर रेट इज लाइक, लेट्स से देयर इज समथिंग नोन एज फॉल्स पॉजिटिव, राइट? लेट्स से अगर 100 लोग हैं और उसमें से 3 लोगों को कैंसर है, लेकिन लाइक द चैट जीपीटी, लेट्स से एआई ने बोला कि 4 लोगों को कैंसर है, हाँ उसका एरर रेट सिर्फ 1% था, राइट? बट बट लेकिन जिसको कैंसर नहीं है उसको कैंसर की ट्रीटमेंट मिलना चालू हो गई है, राइट? A small fuck up could lead to like bigger disasters. So like any fields जिसमें like ऐसा सॉलिड नॉलेज की ज़रूरत हो और जिससे ह्यूमन लाइव्स अफेक्ट हो, वो फील्ड में एआई यूज़ नहीं होता, एंड देयर इज़ अ रीज़न फॉर दैट। लेकिन तुम लोग लाइक जनरेटिव एआई में सोच सकते हो, राइट? इमेज जेन है, कोई कोई ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म जो लोगोस बना सके, या फिर कोई ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म जो लाइक टी शर्ट डिज़ाइंस बना सके, या फिर ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म जो लाइक प्रोडक्ट फोटोग्राफ्स बना सके विदाउट लाइक मच एफर्ट, देन यू आर अप फॉर अ रियली गुड ट्रीट, राइट? तुम लोगों को जस्ट सोचना पड़ेगा कि लाइक तुम लोग ऐसा क्या बना सकते हो जो लाइक पीपल, जो किसी के लाइफ में न्यू वैल्यू ला सके, राइट?
A lot of like opportunities there. One of my favorite things is to talk to my users, and every time I talk to any users, I try to learn as much as I can about them, what they do, what's their background, and how they use ChatGPT. Learning about how a lawyer is using ChatGPT to make their job easier, or a doctor is using ChatGPT to make their job easier.
Forget about doctors, but let's say ये चीज़ को बोलते हैं फीडबैक लूप, राइट? तुम लोग को एक नया फीचर रिलीज करते हो, तुम लोग यूज़र से बात करते हो, तुम लोग फीडबैक लेते हो और वो फीडबैक पे काम करते हो, उससे कुछ नया बनाते हो, और फिर वो नई चीज़ के बारे में वापस लोगों को पूछते हो कि तो उन लोगों के थॉट, राइट? इट्स कॉल्ड अ फीडबैक लूप, जो तुम लोग फीडबैक को यूज़ करके कुछ कंस्ट्रक्टिव करते हो, और फिर कंस्ट्रक्टिव करने के बाद जो कुछ नया प्रोडक्ट बनता है उसके बारे में वापस लोगों को पूछते हो कि वो कैसा है, एंड इससे तुम लोगों के प्रोडक्ट की वैल्यू बढ़ती है बेसिकली, और बेसिकली यूज़र्स को जो चाहिए वो ऐसा माइन्यूट चीज़ों पे तुम लोग फोकस करना चालू करते हो, और इट गेट्स गुड इवेंचुअली, राइट? इट गेट्स slowly but iteratively it gets good.
It's one of the best way to come up with new ideas and build new.
Doctors now, lawyers maybe, teachers maybe, accountants no, politicians, really? Politicians? मेरे को नहीं लगता, fuck off.
Product for people who don't directly use AI.
Okay, let's talk about monetization. We know how to build it and how to get users, but how did you actually make your first dollar?
For the first 9 months or so, the extension was completely free. Like every feature of the extension was 100% free. If you ask me today, I think I should have like monetized the extension earlier, but at the same time, I do feel like it helped a lot with like growing my user base. So I wanted to capture that audience and.
देखो, it's like 50-50, right? Sometimes giving stuff for free helps, but sometimes it really bites you in the back. अगर तुम लोग कुछ ज़्यादा stuff फ्री में दे दोगे तो फिर then you don't have anything to monetize later down the line, right? So the best way is to like think ahead, right? अगर कोई फीचर कुछ ज़्यादा ही अच्छा है then don't give it for free, right? और अगर कोई फीचर like it's like okay ठीक है, it's pretty useful but not something that I could sell, then keep it free, let the users use it for free, don't fuck around, right? और like हर फीचर के बारे में ऐसा मत सोचो कि like हर जो भी कुछ तुम लोग डेवलप करोगे it's the best thing in the world. It's not, trust me, it's not. But if it's like usable enough, then if it's usable enough, then people come into the door, come inside the door, right? come inside the door, fuck. But हाँ, बेसिकली तुम लोगों का एम होना चाहिए कि तुम लोग नए यूज़र्स कलेक्ट करो अपने प्रोडक्ट के लिए, न्यू यूज़र्स, एंड देन फिर उसको मोनेटाइज कैसे करना है वो यूज़र्स को तो सोचो। तो 2 टाइप के तुम लोगों को फीचर्स के बारे में सोचना पड़ता है। फर्स्ट, जो नए यूज़र्स लाएगा, और सेकंड, जो फीचर्स वो नए यूजर्स को पेइंग कस्टमर्स में कन्वर्ट करेगा. दैट इज लाइक द बेस प्रिंसिपल ऑन लाइक एवरी like book on marketing basically.
I started writing a newsletter basically for like the user base that I had, and this is like 3 or 4 months after I started the extension. I also posted my newsletter on some of the website that like you can get a sponsor for. Like within a like week or two, I had like my first sponsor paying me like a few $100 to just post their ad on the newsletter.
This is like ऐसा news to me, right? Oh, it's newsletter, right? Newsletters are a good way to make money, right? लेकिन उसके बारे में किसी और वीडियो में बात करूँगा मैं. Video idea, right? Newsletters.
Basically, when I first started writing the newsletter, it would take me like maybe 6 or 7 hours every day. Now it takes like maybe 2 hours or so to write a newsletter.
Wow. So
You get better at stuff, right? Some things will take you like 10 hours in the beginning, which will eventually take you an hour, right? कोडिंग में भी वैसे रहता है. कोई एक फीचर डेवलप करने में तुम लोगों को लाइक 5-10-20 लाइक 2 घंटे लग सकते हैं, लाइक 2 हफ्ते लग सकते हैं, 2 महीने लग सकते हैं. लेकिन इवेंचुअली वो सेम फीचर डेवलप करने में तुम लोगों को लाइक आधा घंटा, 15 मिनट, 2 घंटे लगेंगे, राइट? लाइक the learning curve goes like this and then comes down so fucking easy, right? Eventually जब तुम लोग concepts के साथ familiarize हो जाओगे, then it's like pretty freaking easy on like getting things done.
you took a pretty unconventional route and started making money from the newsletter first. But how did you monetize the actual Chrome extension?
After like that like first 9 or 10 months, I started to think about new features that I can add to the extension and ask people to pay for those extra features basically. So I didn't ask anyone to pay for any existing features that the extension had, and all of those features stayed free. And I tried like different pricing, like I experimented with like higher price, lower price, and I like kind of found like a middle ground there that I think was the best way to price the extension.
This is like a very like great advice. Experiment with prices, right? तुम लोगों को अलग अलग प्राइस पॉइंट पे अलग अलग यूजर्स को एक्सपेरिमेंट करना चाहिए, क्योंकि लाइक मे बी यू आर सेलिंग समथिंग फॉर $10 which is worth 20, maybe you're selling something for 20 which is worth 10, right? So like it's good to jack up the prices and then give discounts, right? So अगर तुम लोगों को कभी ऐसा लगे कि नहीं ये सर्विस बहुत अच्छी है $10 के लिए, then you like remove the discount and get it back up to 20. Use discount to your advantage, right? Discounts are your friend, not your enemy. Like exactly, discounts are your friend, not your enemy. As a creator, as a developer, as a business, discounts are your best friend.
And
So what are the coding languages, tools, and software you use to build as a
This is dumb, right? He already explained JavaScript, CSS, or yeah. Again,
entrepreneur?
is it like
I spend most of my time inside VS Code. It's the code editor. That's where I
like I think VS Code is like the best like coding thing ever, right? Coding like pseudo IDE, right? It's not a full IDE, लेकिन जो फीचर्स तुम लोगों को जो सिंप्लिसिटी और लाइक सिंप्लिसिटी तुम लोगों को VS Code देता है, nothing else even comes close to like being that like so good and like simple and shit, right? So I don't know, like perfect. So I'm a VS Code guy. तुम लोगों को मालूम, तुम लोग like I don't know, तुम लोगों में भी JetBrains या फिर like कुछ और पसंद हो, बट लाइक और अगर तुम लोग विजुअल स्टूडियो पसंद है ना, प्लीज़ 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 मत देखो मुझे, प्लीज़ 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 स्टॉप वॉचिंग. इधर ही पास भाई. अगर तुम लोग विजुअल स्टूडियो कोड पसंद है देन गुड. अगर तुम लोग विजुअल स्टूडियो पसंद है भाई, आई डोंट नो हाउ यू एग्जिस्ट. आई स्वेयर आई डोंट नो हाउ यू एग्जिस्ट भाई. JetBrains people I can cope with, but Visual Studio people are the, oh my god, मैसोकिस्ट भाई, मैसोकिस्ट लोग.
I write all of my code for all of my projects. When I was building the extension, I went back
JavaScript,
to like pure
basic.
JavaScript with no frameworks. I used AWS
Yes.
for all of my backends.
Holy shit, dude. AWS is like a freaking video on its own, right? Yeah, it will. अच्छा वीडियो रहेगा AWS के बारे में देखना कुछ, right? Okay. But there are a lot of disadvantages जो तुम लोगों को इंडस्ट्री में रह के पता चलते हैं. When you are like in a company who has to pay like $200 million for like cloud services, then you're like, oh fuck, काश हम लोगों के खुद के सर्वर्स होते, which you don't have, right? Of course.
All of my projects basically live on like AWS. For like the newsletter, I use Beehive. One of the nice thing about Beehive is like their monetization features. They have this thing called Boost. You can just like include some links in your newsletter and make money from it. I use
Easy.
Passion Fruit. That's where people find me and reach out to me to sponsor the new.
Sponsor me, guys. If anyone's watching this, sponsor me. Fucking hell, भाई. मेरे को sponsors चाहिए. मैं कुछ नहीं कमा रहा. Videos से, of course.
Newsletter.
All right, before we wrap things up, I want to talk a bit about a controversial topic in the AI space. You know, you built this product to over $20,000 a month, but it's a ChatGPT wrapper, right? Is there any downside to this? And do you worry about this at all?
ChatGPT fucks up, he fucks up, right? Or जैसे like, if there is something which is like better than ChatGPT, then you're fucked too, right? Let's say Claude, Gemini, then like local llamas, right? Or like Llama 3, like something like that. अगर कोई अच्छी सर्विस आई ChatGPT से, more popular, which is like probably not possible right now, but अगर कुछ हुआ, then he is fucked.
OpenAI can kill this product any day. I was scared of that for a very long time, and at this point I kind of feel numb to it. I don't want to like
OpenAI bankrupt, he fucks up.
worry about it
I don't
today,
know.
literally. If
It's
my
fine.
extension stop working at
I mean,
some
like,
point, I'm probably gonna try
ChatGPT
and build
बंद
other
होने का chances
extension for one of these other major platforms. It's
Zero.
gonna make my life a lot harder.
All right, Saeed, final question. What advice would you have to someone just starting out who wants to build their own software business or plugin inside of a marketplace?
Try to validate the project as fast as you can. Just build the very first version and launch it and see if you get some users from it. Try
Called it. Fucking called it. Called it.
to do that. And the other thing I mentioned this earlier, focus on your strengths. In my case, it was building a product, sharing it with people for free, and like getting my first few users from that. So
Nothing beats that.
those two things are the most important thing in my
That's-
opinion.
Yo, guys.
Hot take, like nothing beats that first like income that you generate from like something you built. It's fucking perfect, right? The moment you hit that like $1 high, you're like, I can't wait for like 10 more thousand, right? Like, it's a thing, right? To get rich, you have to build a business. You have to build a business. Like, investing can get you only so far, right? अगर तुम लोगों को like actually rich बनना हो, then you have to start a business at some point in your life, right? Like, get up your ass and like do something while I shit.
Guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video and got some hopefully good tips and golden nuggets from Saeed. But I want to say something real quick. At the end of the day, the point of these videos is to show you ideas and show you it's possible. But
That's-
hopefully you take these ideas and go start your own profitable thing in your own successful business.
Get good. Just start. Just start. Right? You have to win. To win the race, you have to start. You have to run. Run like crazy. Go for that. Go for the dream which looks impossible. You might not hit it, but at least you will come so freaking far than you were when you started. Like, people don't try enough, right? People just don't try enough for their dreams. अगर तुम लोगों को चाहिए तो be the man. Go. Like, get some fucking balls, right?
While learning this stuff is important,
Of course, be a woman too, but I don't know, like you have to win. You have to like go for that.
Taking action is the thing that's actually going to change your life.
Take action.
So spend
Take
time
action, guys.
researching, learning, finding ideas, but then go build that thing as fast as you can.
Execution is everything, right? The first one to start is the first one to reach the end. Just make sure. Also, like the first one to reach the end is the first one to stay at the finish line the most, right? And if you stay at the finish line long enough, then you win. Remember that.
If you're still feeling a little lost on this right now, well, click the first link in the description and you're going to get our free report of solo developer ideas that are actually making money right now.
That's it. So this was like how I built 20k a month Chrome extension, which is like pretty simple. If you don't know about this, like building Chrome extension is pretty freaking simple. Just Google stuff around, look at some YouTube tutorials, and you can build your first Chrome extension easily, like easily, right? So just get started, guys. Just get started and you'll win. I'm pretty sure you'll win.